Now holozoic nutrition is consist of following steps. Like first step we are having ingestion, then digestion. These are actually the steps of holozoic nutrition. Third step we are having absorption, then assimilation, and fifth one and the last one is step is ingestion. These are the following steps of the holozoic nutrition. We'll be discussing all these steps one by one. So if we talk about ingestion, here if we talk about the multicellular organism, means higher living organism. So ingestion, it is the process of the intake of food by means of mouth. That is called ingestion. Like in multicellular, and if we talk about unicellular organism, here it will be the intaking of food will be into the cell. Like it is a process by which means taking in of food. If we talk about unicellular, so taking of food into the cell, and if we talk about multicellular, it is a process of the intaking of food by means of this process either takes place through the cell surface or through a specific opening, that is mouth. So that process is known as ingestion, means the intaking of food as we take the food molecule, that food components as we we are intaking that food molecule. So that process is known as ingestion. If we talk about digestion process, that is the second step, as we have intake the food by means of mouth. If we talk about multicellular living organism, so we have intake the food by means of mouth. That process is known as ingestion. Now digestion will occur. It is basically mechanical as well as chemical process. We'll be talking how it is chemical and mechanical process. How mechanical, like the digestion starts from mouth by the machinery, and that machinery is basically our teeth, that the chewing process is happening here. So how it is mechanical process, like the digestion basically occurs from the mouth by the machinery, means through machinery the food is breaking down, the complex food is breaking down into the simplest molecules. So here the digestion occurs from the mouth and by the machinery. So that is why it is mechanical process. And if we talk about the chemical process, how it is chemical, in our mouth salivary glands are present, and in salivary glands enzyme is present, which enzyme, amylase, that break down the macromolecule into the micromolecules. So here the digestion is also a chemical process. Like here the also digestion is occurring. What is actually digestion? Digestion is basically, it is a process of breaking down of a complex, or we can say indivisible, molecules or food into the simple or divisible food. That is actually a process of the breaking down of the complex molecule into the simplest molecule into, means the breaking down of macro, we can simple say that breaking down of macromolecules into the micromolecules. That process is known as digestion. And as I said that it is a chemical process as well as mechanical process. Mechanical process because the digestion occurs through the machinery, like our teeth is actually a machinery that works as a machinery that break down the food molecules by chewing. And here it is a chemical process, like the enzyme is present in the salivary glands, that is amylase, that break down that macromolecules into the micromolecules. That is why the digestion is of both type, mechanical as well as a chemical. Now the food after chewing, means that was in mouth, will move, some particles will be, means the digestion will start from the mouth. Here some particles will be digestion, means some particles have breakdown into the macromolecules into the micromolecules. So after chewing they will move into esophagus, means through esophagus, then it will move into stomach, then it will move into small intestine. We'll be discussing complete digestion later. Here just giving introduction that how the digestion process occurs. It will, food after chewing will move into the esophagus, through esophagus it will move into the stomach, then small intestine. Mostly the digestion, means the food digests into the small intestine and the absorption occurs into the, then the third step, that is absorption, that occurs into the into the large intestine. So here the food has been digested. Now the third step will be starting, that is absorption. Now absorption occurs. Here, as the macromolecules have been break down into the micromolecules, now they are diffusible. Now they can easily diffuse into the blood, because micromolecules are basically diffusible in blood. So now they can easily cross the cell membrane. So the digested food particles, in this process, that digested food particles will diffuse into the blood, because they are easily diffusible now, because it has been break down into the micromolecules. It will diffuse into the blood. Now the fourth step will occur, that is assimilation. As absorption has been done, the digested food particles has diffused into the blood, crossed the cell membrane, has moved into the blood. Now the assimilation occurs. In assimilation, the food molecules that are diffused into the blood now the blood will utilize these food molecules in all over the body, like for the energy, For example, if we talk about glucose, that is a macromolecules, that is, for example, it is diffused into the blood. Now the blood will utilize, it is utilized in the formation of ATP. ATP is basically adenosine triphosphate, that is the currency of energy. Our body needs energy, like for the movement, for the locomotion, and for performing the different metabolic activities. Our body needs energy. That metabolic activities like respiration, our body needs energy for respiration. For digestion, our body needs energy. For different metabolic activities, our body need energy, so it will utilize these food molecules in all over the body. Now this was the assimilation process, that the food molecules that were diffused into the blood, now the blood will supply these food molecules, means there it will provide energy in all over the body. Now the last step will occur, that is digestion. As some food particle digest and diffuse into the blood, that process has been done. Now some food particles are undigested. It is not compulsory that all the food particles should digest. There are some particles that do not digest, so where they will move into the large intestine, means through the large intestine into the rectum, so that they can move out from the body. So digestion is basically, we can say, it is a process of the removal of undigested particles. These undigested particles are also called excreta. Means it is a process of the removal of undigested particle from the body, that is known as digestion. Another word for digestion is defecation. So basically now the food particles that are not digested, means undigested particles, that is called excreta, that will remove from the body. That process is known as digestion.